I'm Phil Hay Sinclair. I am an adjunct associate professor here at the Australian Graduate School of Management. I look after Entrepreneurship and Innovation as part of the full-time MBA course. I'm also the co-founder and CEO at DropBio, which is a business that is also located at the University of New South Wales. So at AGSM, responsible management is a crucial part of what we are here to teach. And it's not something that we touch on at one point of the course. It's something that is threaded right throughout the program. And so we're here to support students who are looking to understand more about their entrepreneurial mindset if they're looking to build a startup company and to change the world. This subject is all about helping students understand their entrepreneurial mindset and in many cases unlocking it for the first time. There are students who want to create a startup company and go and change the world. And there are others who want to return back to their organizations, whether it be a government organization or a large corporate organization, and start to change things from the inside. So where does responsible management play a role? Well, it's really all about deliberately thinking through and making decisions about how you can make the world generally a better place. And that might sound a little bit trite, but the reality is that there are decisions that are made at every stage of a business model or every stage of an organization's journey where one small decision can make a massive difference to all the stakeholders that we engage in. And that might be not just customers, it might be people who are suppliers, it might also be your future customers and the segments you've never spoken about before, but which you want to try and address in the future. And so we come at this through a variety of different lenses. It doesn't matter if you are trying to build that startup business and you're trying to think about investment, or you're trying to think about how you create a really interesting future for the stakeholders you think you might try and serve in the future. So who does it well? Well, in entrepreneurship and innovation, particularly in 2021, as we're in the depths of the COVID lockdown, we looked at it in three different guises, and we had some outstanding leaders come and join us to explain to us how they do responsible management. The first one was Airbnb. And so if you're not familiar with the company, if you haven't stayed in an Airbnb before, you might not know that they went to IPO late in 2020, and they recorded a record IPO due to a number of decisions they made earlier in the year that were all about responsible management. They took care of their staff in a very particular way. They took care of their hosts in a very particular way, and they took care of their guests in a very particular way, which meant by the time that they had gone to IPO, the signals they were sending to the market was that they were going to create a trusted basis for support in the future whenever COVID started to become more of the new normal. We had the great fortune to speak to the Australian country manager of Airbnb, and many of the students took part of their projects to go and speak to other country leaders of Airbnb. And the thing that we discovered was their narrative was remarkably similar right around the world. It was a fabulous example about what what responsible management can actually do and have a huge impact around the world. Then we came closer to home and we spoke to Service New South Wales. In fact, the government minister who's in charge of Service New South Wales. And we understood more about what it was like to lead a digital citizen-centric organisation, which has really changed the game for the citizens of New South Wales. And having to bring that up from absolutely nothing over a 10-year journey to make it worthwhile. And now we see the benefits of that here in New South Wales as COVID has really made us become more digital. And then we spoke to somebody who was remarkable. In fact, that's the name of their organisation, the Remarkable Accelerator, that was built off the back of a traditional not-for-profit called the Cerebral Palsy Alliance, where they bring together an environment to allow entrepreneurs to build technology for the differently abled. And there are some remarkable, heartwarming stories that have come out of that, but they're not just heartwarming, because the technology that's been built to support segments of the population who would ordinarily be left behind is now something of the past. These are the kinds of responsible management theories and concepts and practical applications that we spend a lot of time talking about. And really, the question probably needs to be asked, well, why is it important? Well, it's super important because consumers expect it. And the second part is that we now have a very recent history and a memory of what happens when you move fast and break things. What we need to be thinking about now as students and as educators is how is it that we can create an impact without necessarily making it a sum zero game where someone has to lose and someone can gain. The reality right now is that we can create entities and movements which can have ridiculously high and large and broad and deep social benefit, and it includes everything that we talk about inside responsible management. A question that we're often asked is, how will the future of business be shaped by responsible management? Well, I have two answers for you. One of them is capital and the other one is talent. The reality now is that the most talented people in the world, the people that we see come to AGSM, the people who are coming to the University of New South Wales for their undergrad, they are being magnetised towards leaders who are making those decisions. And now it's not enough just to pay the highest wage. People want to have an impact. Things like COVID, things like climate change have brought people's desire to have a bigger impact on the world much further forward than waiting until later in life to have an impact or create a legacy. And so for us here at AGSM, we find that we are trying to set people on a course for how they can use their talents to have the impact that they think they want and that we know they can deliver. So when you come to the University of New South Wales and AGSM specifically, and you embark on an MBA with us, as part of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, we are going to explore two very important parts of what it means to innovate and to have an entrepreneurial mindset. We're going to help you understand how to thread responsible management right into the basics of a business model. And we're also going to show you how that plays out when you're trying to move a large organization to not just be more innovative, but to actually create new impact in different markets and to think differently about all the different aspects of your business and how it can be redeployed to create value that maybe previously hadn't been explored before. And so why is this course valuable today? Well, it's really simple. An entrepreneurial mindset, regardless of whether you come from the military, whether you come from a large organization, whether you're a scientist, whether you're an engineer, or whether you're trying to work out what's next in your career, the reality is an entrepreneurial mindset is a ticket to play. And now more than ever, the ability to be resilient, the ability to create new value really from a standing start is something that everybody now needs to be equipped with in order to create value in any kind of career choice that you're making. And at AGSM, a number of people come to us in order to pivot from where they've come from into something new. We arm them with the details and the tools and the knowledge around the entrepreneurial mindset to point them in the right direction. Fundamental to all of it is responsible management.